Hi, I'm Don Corson, winemaker for Camaraderie Cellars. As we're preparing for our 29th vintage, coming up in just about a month, it's a time for a retrospective, if you will, for some of the wines that we've been making for a long time now. We're going to be talking about Malbec, a wonderful wine that has come into great prominence around the world as not only a good value wine, but also one that goes with just a wide range of foods. And it's really fun that we've been able to make this for such a long time. The purpose of a vertical is to just see how the wines have changed over time. We're going to do the 2010, 11, 12, and 13, all of which are available for about 85 bucks here at Camaraderie Cellars. A very good value. 2010, we're going to talk about more specifically, but let's talk about Malbec as a variety. Malbec is one of the lesser varieties not lesser in terms of quality, but one of the lesser planted varieties in Bordeaux, where there are 5 or 6 primary varieties grown, like Cabernet Sauvignon, is usually used in blending. It's also used in some other regions of France as well, but the place that is most important probably for our recollection and all would be Argentina. If you go to Total Wine and Spirits as an example and ask for a Malbec, you're likely to find somebody taking you to the area coming from Mendoza in Argentina. We had the great opportunity to go down to Mendoza a few years ago and came back much impressed with their beautiful vineyards, the Andes around there. One of the interesting things too is that when they say whatever grows together goes together, in Washington State we have cherries and berries and pit fruits of all sorts, and our wines tend to have some of those kind of characteristics, where in Mendoza the kind of things that grow around there, from my notice, are pistachios, walnuts, and rocks. They're very tannic wines. At their best, they do mature very beautifully, but certainly our Washington State wines hold their own with anybody around the world, and that fruit character that we have is really quite prominent and makes it really a standout in the world today of Malbec. In Washington, there, at last count that I was able to find, there are only about 580 acres of Malbec grown in the state, and only 12 acres in the Yakima Valley, where we get our fruit. Blackberry, blackberry and pomegranate and some other kind of acidity prominent flavors are there in Malbec, and we're going to taste here a little bit and just see what's going on here. 2010 Malbec, right here, Camaraderie Cellars. All of these wines benefit from being open a little bit, especially given the age. 2010, now a 10-year-old Malbec, unheard of. Half the wineries of Washington didn't exist here, so I salute all the new ones. But this was harvested on November 8th, which is really quite late. It was one of those cool years that we have periodically, and we have to be prepared for as winemakers. A little bit more leather, which is typical as well, not Brett, but typical leather. Bright acidity still remaining, which lends to its age and lends to its ageability, and the color still really quite youthful in its tone. The 11, very similar to it, was harvested about a week earlier, week earlier than the previous one. A little bit more fruit still here because of that little additional ripeness that we were able to capture. Yeah, the nose is just so extraordinary, not like a perfume, but very much meaty, very savory, which we'll go into in just a minute. Remember those 6 S's: to see, to swirl, sniff, sip, savor, and swallow. Maybe there's a Y in there that just goes for yum, I don't know. And then the 12, a transformational year, finally getting back to sort of a normal. It was harvested on the 19th of October, not sometime in essentially November. This one is a little bit more unctuous, a little bit broader based, a little bit more Argentinian. Don't cry for me, Argentina, right here. And then we move on into the 13, which because of the oak regime really has a little bit more of a vanilla note, which is also typical. All tasting really, really well. And as I've said before, our wines are meant to go with a meal and not necessarily just with opening the meal. Though if you're like me, you like having wine at any time. But some of the kinds of things that I just pulled these off the internet, and you'll get the idea about what you need to have these wines with. And here's pairing Malbec with appetizers, it says right here. Try this spicy tomatillo risotto appetizer with barbecued, you get a barbecued drizzled brisket shoots, salmon tartare appetizer with cilantro. I might pass on that myself. I like my salmon cooked. Imported tapas. Greek-style creamy lamb meatball bites. That sounds pretty good. Here's some other kind of things. Cuban-style asado. Remember, in Argentina they have asado barbecue all the time, and this wine is meant to go with that all the time. Poultry pairings, honey smoked turkey recipe, leftover turkey taco carnitas, garlic, honey, and Malbec. All of those kind of things give you an idea about the kind of things that this wine goes so well with. We could go on and on and on about the beauty of Malbec, and I don't want to take up much more of your time because I want you to come here and have a picnic in our grotto, which is just beautiful this time of year. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.